When people are going to for fishing, knowingly or unknowingly, they're also capturing a lot of unwanted sea life and different species like sea turtles, cetaceans, bluefin tuna, grand bank cod. So a lot of species which are not needed are also being fished. And what happens when this happens is the food web in the ocean gets imbalanced. Thereby, the entire food web chain in the ocean gets imbalanced, which can impact the carbon retention in that in water. And these are illegal catches. And the experts are saying that the illegal fishing is estimated to around 36 million related fishing nets criminals. This is the extent of illegal fishing that's happened. And they move through opaque supply chains due to lack of systems to track such fishes.
I'm going to unmute Mr. Vasant.
Thank you very much, Trishad. Srivani ji, you have done a wonderful job. Thank you. My question is, see, with all these environmental issues brought out by you in your presentation, one thing I find missing is, as you have rightly said, prevention is better than cure. We have allowed plastic to come into our life, whether by mistake or intent, we don't know. Somehow it has become ubiquitous. And we must always say that instead of stop using, give them something alternate and then talk about banning it. Policymakers will have to take a decision to ban completely SUP, single-use plastic, which is a product of our crude oil. After getting refined and other things, the crude, the whatever remains, that is being converted into various plastic products. And we don't know how the oil industry will appreciate our banning plastic. That's one thing. Second thing is, while agreeing with whatever, I don't know whether any proper study has been made for identifying the quantum of cellulose acetate. That is, I'm talking about cigarette butts. There are millions of people consuming billions of cigarettes every day and tossing filters onto the streets. And they go into the garbage dump. Ultimately, they find their way through the drains or whatever may be the ocean. They go into the oceans and they acidify and also create toxicity, which is consumed by fish. They die. Corals are losing their colors, and mammals, whales are getting their lungs are being affected. Hundreds of things are happening. Bad things are happening to the ocean living beings. Such being the case, completely the crop production of ban the crop cultivation of tobacco, we can save a lot of toxicity in the world. That is, 1 kg of tobacco, if we have to cure it, it requires 8 kg of wood, dry wood. And that means every year, every season, millions of trees are being cut down for providing wood, dry wood for curing tobacco. That means we are losing greenery. Another thing that is happening is, even for rolling cigarettes, they require tissue paper. That tissue paper requires again wood. For that also, millions of trees are being cut. This is how we are being careless with regard to controlling tobacco menace. And in addition to that, people are smoking and also getting NCDs, non-communicable diseases, like cancer and other things. See, when something is not good for the society, it is the responsibility of the policymakers to see that it is eliminated. Why did we eliminate the different kinds of diseases? Polio, for example, 95% we have succeeded. That means even here, cancer, lung diseases, asthma, BP, all these things are due to 50% of deaths are taking place due to these NCDs. And most of them are caused for smokers. And it is also very bad for the non-smokers, children and women folk. One puff is enough for changing somebody's lungs. DNA it can change. That means assuming a person is a smoker for 40 years, that's what expected. And he starts at about at the age of 15 or 20 and 40 years. By 60, he's suffering from various diseases. And another thing that is happening is it is also having a lot of economic thing on the common man. If I say a person is smoking a pack a day, 150 rupees or 200 rupees, into the 365 days, into 40 years, that comes to about 26 lakhs 96,000 rupees he has burnt. Cigarette burning, getting sick, curing again, spending money, affecting the family, all these things. Something is not good for the
I have a
society.
question to ask. How much of cigarette production is happening in our country?
Millions, madam, every day. And another thing is there are two things. One is contraband, the other one is accounted. Whatever is excise duty is levied is accounted. The contraband is not accounted. And BDs are the worst possible. There is no accountability at all. There is a nominal 5% levy on the BDs for machine made, but handmade, there is no tax at all. That means billions of BDs smuggled from Sikkim, Bhutan, and other places, Bangladesh, Pakistan, they are entering into our Indian community. And people are seeking for cheaper varieties, whether they are branded or not. Like that even all the cigarettes that are being supplied are not genuine. They don't contain genuine tobacco. It is mixed with different kinds of small leaves, dry leaves, and other things. That means we are endangering our lives again. Something has to be done. And what is your opinion about banning cultivation? It's an abrasive
Definitely, it has
question.
to be regulated. No, it is not. It has
Sir,
to be
then you can
regulated.
name.
Anything which is banned comes, then the counterfeit products gets into the market. It has to be
Yes.
regulated, just like probably even the drugs or the poppies and all that are being grown across the world also needs to be regulated. These lobbies have their own way of controlling the governments, and so it's not easy for the government. For example, if you see the recent ban that the government has taken on gaming, it's
Gaming.
a lot of reaction has come to it. So it's not an easy task for any government to just completely ban, but regulating, yes, they have to do that.
No, something is bad. That means it is not regulating. We'll have to ban it. We'll have to remove it from the midst of the society. Do it.
Yes.
Live and let live. Don't make non-smokers suffer because of you. They are actually billing footing your bill because you are a non-smoker, but you will have to you get the bill because you will have to cure the other man who is a
Yes.
smoker's bill. Anyway, I will leave it to the good sense of people who really care for here. But at the end of the day, Constitution provides whatever may be the reason, economic or otherwise, what remains supreme is good health of the people. You will have to do anything and everything to safeguard that. Thank you. Done a good
Vasanji,
job.
we appreciate your commitment to work towards this cause. I'm so proud of the way that people like you are still fighting for our society. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Guntur is specialized.
Guntur, Chirala.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Vasant sir. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining
sir.
us.
In fact, the entire Chirala Guntur, the soils are so damaged because of all this.
Yes, chemically
And cotton growing, even without doing the natural farming, all those lands are completely damaged now. All the chili and the cotton that we're taking from there are actually chemical ridden.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tobacco depletes the soil.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to unmute Mr. Shmuel. How protecting the oceans can help uplift people from poverty, and how does it impact?
In India, traditionally, as I've already told you, we are a society which never depended on plastics. We're a very sustainable culture is what we had. In India, if you go to a village, whether it is a person who's a landlord or of the lowest community. All of them, when they have their children, have the same traditions, the same functions, the same way of oiling their babies, and the same way of bathing their children with the basin, which is a flour. So if you see the traditional lifestyle of Indians, it has never been as it is now. Now, the minute you have a bath, you want to use chemical soap or chemical shampoo, you want to buy food which is packed. So what has happened is the lifestyles have changed in India. If we can go back to our old lifestyles which we had in India, which did not need, like for example, we're spending a lot of money on hair conditioners. Use coconut milk, which is made at home. We're spending on soaps. Use a basin, which is available at home. So what happened is the villages previously were very self-sufficient. We are breaking the villages. We are creating urbanization, and we're not realizing the impact this is creating on urban poverty. If we coming back to the old ways in which India lived, where we lived in balance with earth, we lived in balance with the ocean, we lived in balance with nature, the overall requirement, the gap between the rich and poor would come down. It is not about whether you have a Mercedes Benz, God knows with what series, versus whether you're having the same healthy natural food. The very concept of wealth, poverty is very different from the eyes of the West versus the original Indian thought process. The original Indian thought process was having healthy food, having family around you. Today, India is aping the West, and we are viewing India with the lens of the West about what is poverty. First, if that filter changes, if that lens of what is poverty changes, if India can come back to the old thought process about what is wealth, Ashtalakshmi is wealth, money is not wealth. That concept that the West has about what is wealth is different from the concept about what is wealth in India. So when you're saying that how will ocean impact, first move up.
Thank you very much. And I have another short question. I want to ask you what government and authorities of India do in practice for effective protecting on oceans and what government of India do for effective resolution of plastic pollution.
So what is the government of India doing for ocean pollution? Is that your question?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
In fact,
Pollution and
plastic pollution.
protecting ocean.
So in fact, Vishwa is working with INCOIS, which to create zero waste in their community, in their office spaces and their quarters. INCOIS is Indian National Institution of Ocean Services. Very impressive place. I can see the government putting a lot of effort to understand, see the entire length of our sea, the impact we are having on the waters, and how we need to support and regulate our fishermen. There is an effort being made by the government to help our fishermen and regulate them in their fishing so that there's no overfishing, and that certain mangroves, reefs are protected. In fact, a lot of islands like Lakshadweep and Andaman and all, there is a lot of debate going on how to ensure that we protect our ecosystems, coastal ecosystems. The government has organizations which are working towards protecting these ecosystems.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you, Shmir, for joining us. Moving on to the next question from Mr. Himanshu. Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us again. Pleased to see you.
Hello. Nice to see you again. It was really a great presentation by Madam. And a lot of new things I have learned, an environmental engineer, but a lot of new things I've learned. So thanks. You were talking like a real expert, although he was not there, but you were also expert. So thanks for that. Just few things to add to this. The biggest ocean polluting, there are two, three things which are mostly very polluting in nature. That is, one is the shipping industry. That I think we should cover. That also is a part of shipping industry is polluting a lot of problem and creating huge amount of pollution in ocean. That also should be taken care of. Then there should be some rules and regulation for that, but they are not being properly implemented. First thing is shipping industry. Second is that fishermen nets, that is a bigger problem. That also I think you can address into this talk. Because of this fishermen nets, they are throwing huge amount of fishermen nets are being thrown into the ocean, and they are the cause of entangling of the aquatic animals and tortoise and fishes. They got entangled and they lose their life even after. So it's very harmful. Thirdly, oil spills also are very important. So these three things are the major source of ocean pollution. So we should take into account all these things also while addressing the ocean pollution problem. Just a suggestion.
So fishermen nets, I think we should start going in for organic nets. One thing we can consider.
Definitely. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So these are
And
the issues we should address.
yeah.
And zero waste also, I think you're doing a lot of things.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining. I'm going to unmute Mr. Amit Chaudhary. Kindly unmute yourself. Pleased to see you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I just would like to share an opinion, probably a point where Samuel did mention
In fact, Amit, I think wanting to reach out to you about carbon footprint and why we need to encourage carbon footprint in India, especially with the oceans support we need to give. What is happening in India in this front?
I think probably the new orange, I would call it, is the blue economy. So I think people have talked enough about green economy, but there's a huge source and there's a huge cry over oceans. As we all know, climate change eventually is warming up our oceans equally, which is creating an imbalance in the ecosystem of ocean itself. It's huge. So it's also adding to a lot to the greenhouse effect with regards to how it's trapping in more heat, and then that's precipitating, and that's how we have all these cloud bursts and all of this happening. So I think that's majorly an issue. And the other issue that you also see is climate change has also started drifting our ocean currents, the heat. So what's happening is, if you see, eventually depend on fisheries. We all have to have that mass because most of the economy and the population feed on fish worldwide. So all the fish started migrating towards the south. I mean, that's very difficult because we can't go to the south and get all the fish for our needs. We're not equipped. So this is the biggest challenge that climate change is throwing at us. It's going to disrupt, because adding to Samuel's question, only when we protect our the blue economy, it makes so much sense to actually protect all of us, providing employment, food on the table, and all of that. So that's one point that I would like to add. And coming to the blue footprints, Srivani, I think we have to do is we have to take initiatives where not only cleaning plastics, protecting those corals. In fact, I just would also like to add, India is also doing fabulously great job, especially that Ram Setu area and all that part. If you see, we have actually increased the mangrove to largely by 70%, which is marvelous. So
Wow.
this is something that we all have to celebrate, that it's a political will. I think we still have a lot to do on the go, and it is a trademark. I feel very happy that India has started. And there's so much that we can do in terms of blue economy, and even for corporates, investing into blue technologies, protecting oceans is also going to fetch them money to offset their carbon emissions. So, and what I personally, Srivani, feel is enough of corporates. I think we all are individually responsible for climate change and global warming. We all should start monitoring our carbon emissions. And I foresee that, through Carbon Heroes and through institutes like us and yours, we should start emphasizing on, monitoring our carbon footprints and how to monetize it. Because when we start doing it, it's the only way that people start taking things seriously. So I mean, in a way, saying that paisa dekho, tamasha dekho, something on those lines. We all have to really work hard, and jitna bhi karo kam hai. I mean, populated country like India, to get to the grassroots level, it's difficult. But I think corporates has a huge responsibility today when it comes to the economy. So I think that's the point I would like to add to the. Yeah.
What is the carbon footprints and what do you see? Where are we in India with respect to that?
In terms of carbon footprints, I think as a country, first of all, there's no awareness. Like, let's say, when we're talking about emissions, how many of us are aware that, from the time you wake up till the time to go to your bed, there's always a carbon emission coming out of it with the electricity we use, with the water we're using. So, first of all, we're not even educated at the very basics. A lot of us in schools and colleges, you see, we talk about carbon emissions, we talk about SDG goals, but how many of us are really putting carbon mitigation as part of your curriculum? As part of your lifestyles, see, this is where carbon heroes, we're also working equally hard in telling people, educating, look, don't teach children how to just talk about climate change. Can you please start teaching them how to mitigate on things? Let's also make them feel guilty that they're doing enough harm. Now they don't have a choice now that they're here. See, either you protect it or you survive. So I think the option here is at a grassroots level we have to start teaching a lot about how to equally start climate mitigating your carbon footprints, right from your waste segregation to composting to let's say if you're a frequent flyer, how much of carbon dioxide is being emitted to you, how you can offset by taking part in it's a mango plantation or a plant drive or beach cleanup, whatever it takes. And also I think it's a great platform where Srivani, you can start looking at instrumenting certain systems where people, like-minded people like all of us, can come and start contributing to all those green technologies, because India today, we are at a crux where self-sufficiency is becoming the need of the hour. Because of Trump, everybody have to realize that today we don't know what is coming in. So I think self-sufficiency is very important, and for a country like us, if we have to really take away fossil fuels, coal, we have to invest more into green economies, like green technologies. In fact, oceans has huge potential. There can be so many technologies. Like I've read recently that based on ocean currents, people are generating electricity. So there are a lot of innovations that can be created in our country, or we can buy some technologies, and we have to start using oceans as a potential. In fact, very recently, yesterday I read some of the institutes have started using music to at the corals, so that they can attract all the fish back, which is amazing. I mean, we need such new innovations, new scientists coming back to the country, and trying to do something. There's a lot. I mean, it's a lot that when it comes to blue economy, and it's really fresh because we are surrounded by water all the way. So it's a good opportunity, is what I feel. We are blessed to take it to the next level.
What are the rules and the regulations in India right now supporting carbon footprints?
There's a new act where I think we eventually have certain set of laws in place wherein, like, the super gains of manufacturing, they have to contribute around, I think, 7% or 17% towards carbon mitigation, whether it is through social acts or, whether through the reforms. So that's made mandatory by the government. Now, the biggest challenge here is our MSMEs, because they are the biggest chunk. So I think the government should start regulating it, because the ESG compliance and all of that has been put into practice. But again, the efficacy with which we are going is not enough, is what I personally feel. There has to be more strict laws, especially when you're emitting so much of pollution. I think we should also bring, Srivani, carbon tax. That's when we have that in place individually and at the institute level, a lot of things will change drastically, because people will become more conscious. Main paisa de raha hu, to something is valuable. Like, you said, like Ashti Lakshmi, that the thing that you mentioned, people are more connected towards the emotion of, money, and also a good amount of psychological behavioral change. So I think this has to go hand in hand, where people also should feel guilty for what they've been doing. More tax. I think we should fight for carbon tax. Yeah.
Do we have enough regulations in India to protect the environment, especially with respect to oceans?
We are way ahead of at least a lot of other Southeast Asian countries, is what I feel, after the mangroves that has been done at Lakshadweep. So I think the biggest challenge, Shivani, what I find in India is implementation. The execution part, no matter how much hard, some regulations are being done, it's about the people, and the people are administering it. If they are not efficient, and if they're not doing it on time, at the standard level, that's the biggest challenge we face as a country. I think that's something that, that system is something that has to be, the value systems have to be really reformed, is what I feel. Yeah. Other than that, we have enough laws, enough things to be kept in place, but it's just that we don't take things a little seriously when it comes to climate change.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to go on to the next question from Mr. Kedareshwar Chaudhary. Do we have a comprehensive policy for protecting the coastal ecosystem, marine life saving, underwater cleanup, reef protection, mangroves, seagrass protection, and regeneration, etc.?
So we have this Disaster Management Act of 2005 and National Policy on DM in 2009, which is trying to protect the mangroves and all. We have the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, which is funding artificial reef creation to restore aquatic life and biodiversity. We also have the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, along with other institutions like the Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute, monitoring coral reefs, ecosystems, conducting restoration programs. As our friend Amit had already told you that Rameshwaram, more than 70% of the mangroves have been restored, which is a Herculean task. The need to restore in other parts of India is there, but for that, the awareness among people is not enough. Because today in India, we're still trying to make ends meet. We're still trying to live a comfortable lifestyle. So people at all levels of the economic hierarchy are too busy thinking about themselves. Because the whole idea about what is wealth is different now. Wealth is our nature. Wealth is our future. Our nature is our wealth. That is our future. That change in thought process is needed. Yes, the government is taking some interesting moves. It's not sufficient according to me, but there is also need to bring in awareness among people that we need to protect all these. Yes, there are a lot of individuals. In fact, the speaker who was supposed to come was physically doing all those restoration of the coral reefs, and he could have told us better about the ecosystems and what is happening on the ground level. Unfortunately, he is not there to answer these questions because his father fell ill. He was in the ICCU. So I had to take on what he started. Does that answer your question, Mr. Chowdhury?
Thank you, ma'am. I just wanted to know that after working in the non-profit sector for last 30 years in disaster management and coastal ecosystem, coastal livelihoods, we have found that there is no comprehensive policy or approach to restore the marine and this thing, because now people are saying the mangroves, or everybody is mad after mangroves. So I learned here that seagrass is also important, and the ocean bed cleaning is also important. So this kind of knowledge to be propagated through this kind of forums. Otherwise, no communities, they don't get to know that. Whatever comes, that mangroves come, and the mangroves, not anything else. So I also got some insights from here, and it is very good that we go deeper. And Mr. Amit was telling that carbon monetizing that thing. It is again at the community level monetizing the carbon credits and all. It is again it's a kind of Pandora box. They don't know anything about it, how to go about it, how to trust, whom to trust. The people are coming and they are saying that you can monetize the carbon, but how to do it, who is the proper channel? So those kind of aspects are not available at the ground level. So that is why this kind of discussion is very much important, and I thank you for organizing this.
Where are you from, sir? Which organization are you working in?
I am from Bhubaneswar, Odisha, ma'am.
Okay, and the organization you're working in?
It is a small NGO called Darbar Sahitya Sansad, DSS. It is a 42-year-old NGO, and we focus on livelihood for women, livelihood security, gender, and climate action. Three areas
What
we
do
work.
you think? What do you think about the turtles of Orissa and all? What is happening on that front? Turtles,
Olive Ridley.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of awareness and people are protecting. Lot of NGOs, community people, they are protecting. But still there are forest division is supposed to protect those eggs. When they lay eggs, they have to protect. But there are little, no, it is not foolproof. But the
There's
communities
gaps.
are now aware and the NGOs are aware and they are protecting it. So it is good. And there is also one thing is that forest department need to be more vigilant. And second thing is that the nets, because these turtles, they caught in the nets. So sometimes government bans fishing for some time, but again, it's a livelihood issue for fishermen. So that how get.
Is there a possibility to changing the plastic nets into organic nets?
I don't have knowledge. I would like to learn more on it and I explore more on it, how to do some solutions. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm going to go on to the next question from Ms. Sangeeta Samant, how does excessive fishing in oceans impact marine ecosystems? And are current regulatory measures effective as checks and balances to prevent overfishing?
Yeah. When people are going to for fishing, knowingly or unknowingly, they're also capturing a lot of unwanted sea life and different species like sea turtles, cetaceans, bluefin tuna, grand bank cod. So a lot of species which are not needed are also being fished. And what happens when this happens is the food web in the ocean gets imbalanced. Thereby, the entire food web chain in the ocean gets imbalanced, which can impact the carbon retention in that in water. And these are illegal catches. And the experts are saying that the illegal fishing is estimated to around 36 billion each year. That regulated fishing nets criminals. This is the extent of illegal fishing that's happening. And they move through opaque supply chains due to lack of systems to track such fishes. Also, as I've already told you about the horse crab fish. Now, we need this fish. Why do we need it? Because we want to use it, test our vaccines against them. And we are indiscriminately catching them, and we are experimenting on them, but we are not looking at the impact on the population of the horse crab fish. So it is this kind of the horseshoe crab. It is these kind of things that we need to balance. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. I hope, Sangeeta ma'am, I hope that question is answered.
Yeah, it's okay. One more thing she's asked is about the protection that we are taking. There is the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which provides legal protection to many marine animals and various coral reefs, which are especially in the designated areas where it's called marine protected areas. Yes, there are acts which are protecting them.
In place.
Yes.
Thank you for the reply, ma'am. I'm going to unmute Mr. Himanshu sir again. Yes, sir.
Hi, just I want to add about that laws which we were talking about. What are the ocean pollution control laws which are available in national level? Also, there are a number of laws available international level also there. Like we have a Water Act 1974, which also covers not only the rivers and water bodies, but also covers the ocean also. So the Water Act is one of. Second act is the Coastal Regulation Zone Act. That is also one of the act which that is a proper development and all infrastructure development is controlled at the coastal level by CRZ rules. Thirdly, there is a Marine Shipping Act also. That also covers a lot of how the shipping industry should properly take care of their waste. That is also clearly mentioned in the Marine Shipping Act. Then fourth is Indian Port Act is also there. So that also covers the how we can prevent the pollution in the ocean from the ports. So these are the various acts which is already available in the Indian national level to control the ocean pollution. Even there are a number of treaties, international treaties that has also been signed, Marco Polo treaties, Paris Act. These are all related. They are also actually Kyoto Protocol. These are all actually international treaties which also take care of ocean pollution. So there are a lot of provisions already available, but still a lot has to be done. Thank you.
About the oil spills, are there any treaties?
Yeah, this marine shipping, the Marco Polo Treaty. Yes, Marco Polo, I think. Just see the Marco Polo Treaty is for at international level only, which deals with the oil spills only.
Okay, got it. The one you said was the Marco Polo. The other one, what did you say was the international treaty?
Kyoto Protocol is also there for this mercury. Paris Agreement also deals something about the ocean pollution also. So there are a number of international treaties also, which directly or indirectly, may not be directly, maybe indirectly, they are taking care of ocean pollution.
Yes. And in the presentation also, if you have seen, we've also mentioned some treaties that have been working. The High Seas Treaty 2023,
Yes.
Fisheries Subsidies Agreement 2022, the Plastics Treaty. Yeah, these are also there.
Yes, they are also. Thank you.